Hello, how are you doing during the pandemic? You can do many things during the pandemic, for example, doing a hobby. Speaking of hobbies, anyone here like reading comics? Who doesn't know comics? Comics are used to express stories with art. It have panels and there are speech balloons, such as speech bubbles, caption, and onomatopoeia. Usually, comics are printed books, but in modern times there are also comics that can be read digitally. Many legal and illegal websites are available for reading comics. Not only comics but also manhwa, manhwa, and manga. So, what is the difference between the three of them? Today's topic will be discussing the history, the different types of comics, and website to read comics.
First, history. The history of comics has followed different paths in different parts of the world. It can be traced back to early precursors such as Trajan column in Rome, Egyptian hieroglyph, and the Bayak tapestry. Example of early sequential art can be found in Egyptian hieroglyphs, Greek phrases, Rome's Trajan column, Maya script, medieval tapestries such as the Bayak tapestry, and illustrated Christian manuscript. How about the history of manga in Japan? The history of manga is said to originate from scroll dating back to 12th century, and it is believed they present the basis for the right-to-life reading style. The word first came into common usage in late 18th century. Manga is a Japanese term that can be translated as comic. Historian and writer on manga history have described two both and complementary processes shaping modern manga. Manga, manhwa, and manhua sound the same, and they are similar in artwork and layout, but there are some differences between the three that makes all the difference.
The difference between manhwa and manhwa and manga. Manga and manhwa actually come from the Chinese term manhua, which means impromptu drawings. These terms as a general terms for all comics and graphic novels. Now, international readers use this term to address comics that are published from a specific country. Manga is a Japanese comic, manhwa is a Korean comic, and manhwa is a Chinese comic. The creators of these comics also have specific titles. The person who makes manga is a mangaka, the person who creates manhwa is manhwaga, and the person that makes manhwa is manhwajiya. The content of an East Asian comic is reflective of its origin, culture, and values. In manga, there are numerous fantasy and supernatural stories about shinigami or dead gods, such as Death Note. Manhwa often has storylines related to the Korean beauty culture, like True Beauty, while manhwa features many martial arts cavalry-themed comics. Manga and manhwa are read from right to left and from top to bottom. However, manhwa is read from left to right and from top to bottom. The printed manga has limitation when depicting movement in the artwork. However, the vertical layout and infinite scrolling in digital manhwa and manhwa are used to strategically depict the movement of objects, descending, or the passage of time. In print and digital, manga is usually published in black and white. Digital manhwa and manhwa are published in color. Most characters in manga are drawn with big eyes, small mouths, and exaggerated facial expression to emphasize certain emotion. However, manhwa and manhwa characters are drawn to focus on more realistic human proportion and appearance. Manga also use a unique set of onomatopoeia in their narratives to describe not only the sounds of animals and inanimate objects, but also the sounds of psychological states and emotions. Likewise, manhwa and manhua have their own set of onomatopoeia used to describe emotions and movements. Also, digital manhwa often uses music and sound bites to enhance the reading experience.
Here, we will be focusing on onomatopoeia. Written sound effects on comic are called onomatopoeia, and it serves as an attempt to write sound effects on a page so we can hear them through our eyes. In Japanese onomatopoeia itself, the sounds are divided into 3 families and 5 classes. Families group words together by what sound they mimic, while classes group words by their structure and how the words themselves look and sound. First, let's look into the families. 1. Giseigo. These include words that mimic the voice of people and animal, such as ira, kya, nya, wow, wow. 2. Giongo are words that imitate sounds such as za, and gucha, and kata. 3. Gitaigo. This word represents something visual or a feeling, such as nia, kira, guru, ji, zun. Next, let's move on into the classes.
Number 1. Bare stem. Bare stem is the root of the word or the unchanging part of word. For examples, study, stud, studying, or hanasu, hana, hanashimasu. Japanese sound words in this class use the stem like hanasu. Number 2. Altered reduplication. It repeats the first word with a slight change. For example, bawau or gasagoso. Number 3. Double bass. It repeats the bass sound of the word. For example, ratatat or rabu. Number 4. Reduplication. It repeats the sound. For example, pop or koro. This is the most common class of sound words. Number 5. Miscellaneous. This includes all the other words that don't fall into the previous groups. Knowing onomatopoeia will help you determine which words are the sound words. Understanding the construction of these words along with memorizing katakana will enhance your enjoyment of manga.
Legal sites read comics. As a reader, which one are you? The one who collects the print volumes or the one who reads on the reader apps or sites? If you are the latter, we have some of the legal sites and apps to make it easier for you to read comics. First, Fizmanga. Fizmanga is an English licensed manga publisher that releases manga chapters of series the same day they are made available in Japan. Second, Shonen Jump and Manga Plus. Weekly Shonen Jump is one of the biggest manga anthology magazines in Japan. Owned by Shueisha, it's also available digitally with the name Manga Plus by Shueisha. It's available in English and Spanish. Also, the service is 100% free on Manga Plus. Third, Crunchyroll. Most people know Crunchyroll as the anime streaming site. However, you can also read manga published by 7 Seas Entertainment, Kodansha, and Vertical. Fourth, Webtoon. Originally from South Korea, Never's Webtoon service entered the global market and available in Korean, Chinese, English, Spanish, French, Indonesian, Japanese, Thai, and German. Not only manhwa, you can also find manga, local comics, etc. Also, it's all free, but you can also buy a fast pass if you want to read the next episode in advance. Fifth, Piccoma. Not only Japanese manga, Piccoma also offers Korean manhwa and Chinese manhwa. Piccoma offers some free chapters and needs 24 hours to read some for free. You can also buy the fast pass, and it's only available in Japanese. Of course, some of the sites just let you sample a couple of series or chapters for free. You may have to pay to read the rest of the series or chapters, but isn't it one of 100 ways to appreciate the creator's works? Many illegal sites provide you with free series that have been pirated. Isn't it terrible? While you are here enjoying their works, the creator doesn't get anything in return for their hard work. So, let's appreciate the creator's works, help to raise awareness, take steps to crack down on piracy, and read in legal sites and apps.
Okay guys, that's all we could present to you. We hope it could be useful for you, and after watching this video, we hope that your knowledge of comics will increase. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you next time.